The Emperor!
Sire, we greet you as the Emperor of the French, as the greatest hero of our times, as the conqueror of the armies of Austria and of Prussia, but above all, as the liberator of our country, Poland.
It's Poniatowski.
Sire.
No music. I had been told there was to be music.
Your Majesty wants music?
Yes.
Certainly, sire.
Well, with women like these, I think I could have a good time with their king. You, King of Poland? The Emperor has the thought in his mind.
Oh, yes? Who put it there?
It's a fairly obvious thought. For services rendered.
As the Emperor's brother-in-law.
I'd make a great deal better king than any of his brothers. Indeed we will.
Sire, Count Merachowski wishes to thank you for your appointing him head of the provisional government.
Under your supervision, you understand that, Count?
Oh, indeed, sire.
Your first task is to raise me an army of 20,000 Poles.
You shall have them, sire.
Half of Poland is still occupied by the Russians.
You will beat them, sire.
Yes. When I've done it, we shall see about the future of your country.
Sire, the members of the provisional government fully understand that nothing can be decided yet.
Talleyrand.
Huh?
Get me Poniatowski.
Forgive me. There will be other opportunities.
Your Majesty?
Who is that woman in white?
One of your greatest admired, sire, and one of our most ardent patriots, Countess Walewska.
Who's the man she's with?
Her husband, sire, also a great patriot.
Poor woman.
Do you wish to meet them, sire?
Wish to meet her.
Durok, you're supposed to know everybody.
Whom would you like to meet?
I rather like the look of that one in white.
Not a chance there. She's married and devoutly religious.
Murat says they're all mad for us.
Murat says because Murat doesn't care as long as it's a woman.
Your Majesty, may I have the honor of presenting to you Countess Walewska.
White does not go well on white, madame. This is hardly the reception I expected. I speak to you, you refuse to answer. Why?
Your Majesty.
I'm eager to hear your explanation.
I have sworn to wear no colors. Only white, or grey, or black. Until Poland is free, and an independent kingdom again.
Is a woman's oath so absolute?
Yes, Your Majesty.
I have not found it so.
I shall wear colours when all Poland is free, as you can make her free. It lies in your power to recreate our nation.
I shall do as I think best.
Your Majesty, you are a great statesman as well as a great general. You must know that an independent Poland is essential to the peace of Europe.
Madame, when I choose to speak to a beautiful woman, I do not expect to be lectured on politics.
I have nothing else to say to you, Your Majesty.
But you can answer questions.
Yes.
How old are you?
20.
How long have you been married?
2 years.
Have you a child?
A son.
How old?
Almost 1.
His name?
Antoine.
Do you love him?
Yes.
You seem uncertain.
I love him, but I hardly see him.
Why?
He's in the care of my husband's sisters.
Why?
Because they are Colonna Walewskis. And the Colonna Walewskis are an ancient and noble family. And they wish to bring him up as a Colonna Walewski.
Why are you married to a man 50 years older than yourself?
Because my family is not quite so ancient, nor so noble, nor so rich.
I'm sorry for you.
Your Majesty, make Poland free, and I'll be the happiest woman in the world.
I admire your patriotism.
It is all I have.
So, if we talk again, you will lecture me again.
Yes, Your Majesty.
We shall see. Miss Poniatowski.
Majesty?
If Madame Walewska is an example of your Polish womanhood, then you are certainly a very great nation.
Sire.
I am one of many, Your Majesty.
Are you? We shall meet again, madame. I saw no one but you. I admired no one but you. I desire no one but you. Tell me you will come to me soon.
Forgive me, madame.
Yes, Marisia.
Marshal Duroc is here. He asks if he may see you.
Duroc?
Yes, madame. The Emperor's Grand Marshal.
My apologies to Marshal Duroc. I am not dressed to receive visitors.
But if he asks to wait.
Tell him I am not dressed to receive visitors.
Yes, madame.
You can't say that to the Emperor's Grand Marshal.
I do not receive visitors until I am dressed.
You receive me.
You're not a visitor, Junior. You're my best friend.
But aren't you dying to know what the Emperor's
I don't break my rules for a Grand Marshal.
But he comes from the Emperor.
I do not know that he does.
Madame.
Yes, Marisia.
Marshal Duroc asked me to give this to you. He asked me to ask you to read it. He's waiting, madame.
My thanks to the Grand Marshal for bringing the letter.
Yes, madame.
Tell him there is no answer.
She said what?
Simply that there was no answer.
Go back to Madame Walewska an hour when she will receive you. Give her this. In private. Get her to read it in front of you. Explain to her what it means.
Marshal Duroc, I understand what it means.
May I therefore hope for an answer?
There is no answer.
The Emperor is most anxious to have an answer. In fact, he suggests that you now owe him two.
Marshal Duroc, have you read the letters?
I am aware of the contents.
Is it part of your duties as Grand Marshal to run this kind of errand for the Emperor?
Madame, the Emperor is the greatest man on earth. I am his devoted servant. I am proud to run any errand for him.
Yes, I can understand that. I'm wrong not to answer.
I think so, Madame.
Tell the Emperor that I too believe him to be the greatest man on earth, that I am married with the blessings of the Church, and that I worship God more than I worship the greatest man.
Are you suggesting I'd do better to write to the husband?
No, no, one should never write to the husband.
What then?
We did consider Count Walewski as a member of the provisional government. We rejected him on the grounds of age. We already have Count Malachowski, the grand old man of Poland, and one dotard is enough.
Yes, well...
However, Count Walewski does share the hopes and aspirations of the provisional government, which your Majesty tells me is under my supervision.
So?
Sire, I must ask you, do you urgently and overwhelmingly desire to have this lady in your arms?
Yes!
Then I shall summon an emergency meeting of the provisional government.
Marie, Prince Poniatowski and Count Malachowski are here.
I'll come down.
They're here. They asked to see you here.
To see me?
Yes.
Why?
I gather that the Emperor has expressed a desire to meet you again, to continue his conversation of last night, and that you, for some unaccountable reason, have gravely offended the Emperor by refusing to agree to this. I must ask you why.
I did not know that I had offended the Emperor.
Marie, why?
If the Emperor is offended, I shall be willing to send my apologies through Prince Poniatowski and Count Malachowski.
You understand, whatever the Emperor's birth may have been, he is now of a rank greatly beyond ours.
Yes.
We owe him the respect paid by the nobility to a reigning monarch.
I shall apologize.
Very well, I prefer not to hear your apology. Prince Poniatowski, Count Malachowski.
Dear Madame.
I shall leave you.
Madame.
Am I to suppose that you understand what my husband does not understand?
It is better that your husband should not understand.
May I ask, why have I become a matter of government?
Because the Emperor is offended.
Am I not offended? I have his letters to me. You can read them.
Marie, we are...
Aware of their contents.
Yes.
Are you not offended? As Polish noblemen? As Poles? Whether noble or not?
Countess Walewska, I am old enough to have spent most of my life in our great and glorious kingdom of Poland. And I have seen Poland occupied, partitioned, torn into pieces by her enemies. Prussia, Austria, Russia. I have seen our kingdom destroyed and the name Poland erased from the map of Europe. Hundreds of my friends, thousands of my compatriots have died in a vain attempt to write that name on the map once again. Oh, they died gladly, willingly, for the sake of their country, as you would have died had you been a man. They made their sacrifice. Are you too selfish to make yours?
Marie, you are the daughter, the sister, and the wife of the Polish patriots whose one aim in life is the restoration of our ancient kingdom. And nothing in the world matters as much as that.
Madame, I have watched a great deal of history in the making. I assure you, little causes can produce great effects. Authority is vested in men, but so long as men are swayed by their passions, then women will always have the power to change the course of history. For better or for worse, by their influence, at a precise moment in time. Just as at a certain moment, Napoleon will decide the fate of Poland.
Napoleon who loves you, Marie.
But I do not love him.
Did you marry for love? I'm sorry, Marie, but you married out of respect for the wishes of your family. You did your duty. We have a larger family. Our country. Will you do your duty for Poland?
If you refuse this chance, well, then you will have done nothing. And less than nothing for Poland.
Master!
You're the one he desires.
Madame Walewska, sire.
Good evening, madame. Do please sit down. Why didn't you answer my letters? Is it so difficult a thing to do? Is it so terrible to have an emperor fall in love with you? Please don't cry. What is there to cry about? Marie. If I could cry, I would be crying too, but tears of joy. I have not slept since I first saw you. I have not eaten. I have not had one single rational thought. I have done nothing but long for this moment. I had no right to believe that you would long for it too. I hoped that you would come here, willingly, without sadness. But above all, I prayed simply that you would come. I have heard of men dying for love. I have never felt it before. There was a weight, a crushing weight on my heart, breaking it, killing me. Only you could lift it. Only you could let me live.
How could I come here without sadness?
Is it sad to have a man so much in love with you?
No.
Isn't there some kind of happiness in being greatly loved?
Not happiness.
Pleasure, at least a compliment.
A compliment I don't deserve. Why me?
Marie, I did not choose to fall in love with you.
Then we are both unfortunate.
Am I a misfortune to you?
Yes.
An ogre to you?
No.
but an emperor.
I cannot return your love.
Take off your cloak. Let me see what I love and cannot be loved by. Dark.
I told you why.
I shall hope to see you in colors yet. Is it because I am emperor that you cannot love me?
Because you are not my husband, and I am not your wife.
Do you know what love is? Love for a man?
I know what loyalty is.
Well, what do you feel when he holds you in his arms? Do you feel love?
I'm married to him.
To a slave? Sold to him at an auction. An 18-year-old virgin to a 68-year-old goat. I tell you, this is obscene. And if you tell me this is blessed by the church, then I say to you the church must look again at what it blesses and what it does not.
I was not forced to marry him. I agreed.
At 18, you can plead ignorance. He can't.
I am married. It is not possible for me to be married to more than one man.
Be married to me, then.
You have a wife.
No. I have an empress. Be my real wife, my Polish wife.
You don't want me as your wife.
What must I do to convince you that I love you more strongly, more profoundly than I have ever loved before? Ever in my life, I have never loved before. Till now, I have not loved.
That is not true.
I feel it to be true. You're right, it isn't true. Not a lie, but a forgetting. I have loved once. This is the second time. I was mad for Josephine once as I am for you now. Josephine was all woman, all charm, all grace, all sympathy, all subtlety, all sexual knowledge. I did not die for love of her. She took me into her bed and she married me. But afterwards, I died of jealousy. She turned my heart to a stone, to rock, to iron. But we were married. I have felt nothing in my heart from then till now. Now my heart has come alive again, because you too are all woman, a different kind of woman. All goodness, all nobleness, all purity.
What would become of my purity in your bed?
What would become of your goodness if you condemn me to die?
To die?
I believe my life is in your power.
I can make you suffer, perhaps, for a time. But I cannot make you die.
You do not know what love is. You do not know what love can do.
If you went to bed with a woman you loved, but who did not love you, and you knew that she did not love you, would it be a pleasure? Or only a triumph?
You would come to love me. But love creates love. My love would make you love.
I have been brought up as a Pole in an occupied Poland, where your kind of love does not exist. We have only one passion, one thing we live and die for. Our country. Everything else is survival. Yes, I was sold to the highest bidder. But my marriage is a double loyalty. Through my husband to Poland. You are our liberator. We hope our friend. I am told to go to bed with you for the sake of this hope. I am told this by the leaders of my nation, by men whose word is law to me. And I will do anything for Poland. I will go to bed with you, if you wish. But I will not deceive you. I admire you above all men for what you are and what you have done. But I don't feel for you what you call love. If you say so, I will throw myself into your bed.
Constant?
Yes, sir.
Fetch Marshal Duroc. Madame Walewska is leaving.
Yes, sir.
Negotiation is possible only when both parties wish to reach an agreement.
You can manipulate a dozen ambassadors, can't you manipulate a woman?
Sire, you've often told me all I do is dictate terms once you have conquered. In this case, you have not conquered.
Prince of Benevento, whatever your name is now. I must have her.
Forgive me, sire. You tell me she offered herself and you refuse.
I am not totally inhuman.
No, I agree, not totally.
I must have her love me.
Sire, your ambitions are always boundless and I am always asking you to be satisfied with less.
What do women want? What does she want? I'll give her anything.
The free and independent Kingdom of Poland? If you guarantee her that, I'll guarantee the result.
I do not make political decisions for the sake of a woman.
May I suggest you could make this decision for the sake of France?
Talleyrand, you're not to use this situation for your own purposes.
Sire, you have my memorandum on your desk, advancing the theory it would be possible now to declare Poland free and independent, and that this declaration would help you beat the Russians. Now, every Pole would fight like two men for you and
every
for his
Pole
own
will
country.
fight for the hope, whether I make a declaration or not.
That is true.
So why should I tie my hands with promises?
I was thinking of saving a little French blood.
Let me tell you your tasks very clearly, and they are enough for one man. To govern Poland for me, to raise a Polish army for me, and to make the Poles supply my own army with everything it needs. And to get me Marie Walewska.
The last may be the most difficult.
Madame.
Yes, Marisia.
Countess Tiskiewicz and the Prince of Benevento.
Marie, my dear.
Madame?
I've brought the prince to meet you.
Prince?
Dear Madame, enchanted to make your acquaintance. I should explain, I have been Madame Tiskiewicz's humble admirer.
Prince, you were hardly humble.
Devoted admirer, then, since...
Oh, we never mention years.
We never think of years. But since the days, we think of days.
When France had a king, and Paris was the only place in the world for a woman.
Ah, Madame, only we who lived then know how sweet life can be.
Prince, do you know Madame Abramovich? Prince.
Enchanted, Madame.
The prince is giving a ball.
Madame Tiskevich is giving a ball on my behalf.
Eljunia, you are to do all the arranging for me.
Gladly.
And the prince is not to hear. It must be a surprise for him, too.
Come.
Oh, I adore my own parties when other people give them. I saw you at Prince Poniatowski's, Madame.
I was there.
You were celestial, in white. I'm sorry we didn't meet. I would have attempted to amuse you. As I attempt to amuse the Emperor.
Attempt? Don't you succeed?
Oh, he remains resolutely and passionately serious and high-minded. I admire this, but must wish him otherwise.
Why?
Madame, I am a diplomat. I spend my life saying things I don't mean in order to gain a point. The Emperor invariably says what he means and means what he says and has no thought of whether a point is gained or not.
But if you were to do as he does...
Diplomacy, as I understand it, would cease to exist.
Which, forgive me, might be a good thing.
Oh, an excellent thing. But if truth and sincerity are to become the fashion, it will create a vast deal of unemployment among foreign ministers.
Prince, you malign yourself.
In order to have the pleasure of complaining about my problems. To give you an example. Oh, forgive me, I am starting to talk politics, which I should not do to a beautiful woman.
I should like you to talk politics.
Ah, well then, my complaint. I seek to persuade the Emperor that we need an alliance with one other great power.
Isn't France greater than all the rest put together?
Ah, but there is that island of barbarians protected by what they are pleased to call the English Channel.
You think England is the enemy?
The permanent enemy, the others are only temporary.
Russia's the enemy too.
Oh, temporary. Momentary. We shall shortly defeat Russia. Russia will beg to be our ally.
The Emperor cannot wish to make an alliance with Russia.
No, a Russian alliance would have great advantages.
What would become of Poland?
I assume it would be necessary to let Russia keep her part of Poland.
It may be necessary, but it cannot be permitted.
Why not, madame?
It would be a crime against my country, a denial of what is right and honorable.
I do not see war or peace in those terms. It's my complaint. The Emperor seems to agree with you.
Does he?
However, I hope to persuade him.
There is only one honorable course for France.
Madame, I am concerned not with the honor of France, but with the future of France.
You are French.
I have that good fortune.
The Emperor is more than French. He is universal.
Oh, yes, I admit his temperament is hardly French. He's romantic, not realist, visionary, not practical, ruled by the heart, not by the head. Yes, he's universal. Or Corsican, it's much the same thing.
And the Emperor will decide. Not you, Prince.
The question is in the balance.
Madame Walewska, sire. Good evening, madame. Let me take your cloak. Thank you, Marie.
I have forsworn all my vows, and sworn new ones. I shall wear colors if they please you, whatever pleases you. But you must understand, I cannot be married to more than one man. If you want me, I am yours. If yours, then no one else's. I've told my husband this. I've told him that I'm offering myself to you, and that if you take me, I'm your woman, not his. And he must forget me, or think of me as dead. I shall not see him again, nor my child. I cannot divide myself. I am what I am. I'm Polish. It is not possible for me to stop being Polish. I shall be what you asked me to be here in this room. Do you want me as your Polish wife?
Which one, sire?
King of Naples. Dear Joseph, you complain that my financial demands are creating problems for you in your new kingdom. Let me explain to you, my friend, that I am fighting the Russians, the Kalmucks, the Cossacks, and the barbarian hordes of the north who once invaded the Roman Empire, fighting with bayonets in thick mud and driving snow. It is a joke in bad taste to compare this wilderness with the beautiful country of Naples. The Neapolitans don't like being taxed. Send them here.
Sir, may I speak with you?
No, no.
I've been waiting half an hour to speak with you, sir.
I've been busy.
Sir, I'm a Marshal of France.
My Chief of Staff.
I could obtain no satisfaction from your Chief of Staff, sire.
Well, Marshal Lannes, speak.
I've read your bulletin on the Battle of Eylau, sir.
Good, so have I.
It does an injustice to Marshal Augereau and myself.
Lannes, when you are Commander-in-Chief, you can write your own bulletins and do justice to whom you please.
Why do you write a bulletin that is a pack of lies?
That's lies, propaganda.
Why do you give all the credit to Murat, who came up at the last moment? One cavalry charge, that was all. Augereau and I had been fighting there all day.
Cavalry charge gave us victory. Prince Murat is a brave man.
Oh, what Frenchman is not brave?
Some less than him.
Me?
No.
There are 20,000 brave Frenchmen lying out there dead in the snow. My men and Augereau's. They're the ones that gave you victory, because each man killed more than his share. They're lying there with 25,000 Russians equally dead. And the only name that you name is Murat, that circus rider with his pantomime clothes. Why? Because he's a brother-in-law. Because he's one of the family. Are you going to make him a king too, like your brothers? What are you warming up for him, the throne of Poland?
Sire, Marshal Lannes is not well. Shall I have him taken to his quarters?
No.
Are you making him king of Poland? Or do you want us to fight for you?
I distribute glory as it suits me! All glory, all success come from me!
Because you march through blood, you think yourself a great man. Well, I tell you, the blood of one Frenchman is worth more than the whole of Poland!
Marshal Lannes, if you're not satisfied, you can go back to France.
No. You need me.
Dear Marie, you've come. You've come.
You sent for me, and so I came.
There was a snowstorm. Nobody could see what was happening. We killed the nearest Russian, or were killed by him. I suppose the Russians are used to fighting in snow. We're not.
But the Russians retreated.
I rode across the battlefield the next morning. Felt the full horror of war. Yes, they retreated, so we shall have to fight them again.
And beat them.
When I'd hoped to have beaten them already. Marie, truthfully, what do they say of me now in Warsaw?
That you are still, as always, our liberator, our hero. What else?
Next time, the victory will be complete.
And all Poland will be free.
Murat. You've met Murat. What do you think of him?
He has a great reputation as a very brave man.
He deserves it, but what do you think of him?
He's a great talker.
Yes.
He talks. He tells everyone that you've promised to make him King of Poland.
I have not made any promises to Murat or to anyone else. I do not make promises until I can carry them out. When I have beaten the Russians, I shall make not a promise, but a decision. I'm practical. I'm a realist.
Are you? Always?
I have learned to deal with things as they happen.
I think you are two men at war with each other. One ruled by the head, one by the heart.
If you had all the world to choose from, what a silly thing to say in a drafty old castle.
I can answer. I would choose to be here with you.
I love your answer, but it's not my question.
Ask your question.
Whom would you choose to be King of Poland, if there were a kingdom of Poland?
There is only one possible man, Prince Poniatowski.
Ah, yes, Poniatowski.
Nephew to our last king, a good leader, a good soldier, a good man.
And a good Pole.
Of course. Would I choose a foreigner to be my king?
Darling, beautiful Marie, beautiful Polish woman, Polish patriot. You have chosen a foreigner to be
my husband.
Your husband?
I am ruled by the heart.
Sire, you wish to see me?
Prince Murat, there is a rumor that I have promised to make you King of Poland.
Ah, yes, sire.
You should do your best to discourage the rumor.
Ah, yes.
Since it has no foundation.
Ah.
That's all. That is all.
Thank you, sir. Who on earth started the rumor that I was to be the King of Poland?
You did.
What?
Didn't you?
Absolute rubbish.
Yes, that's what we thought.
King of a ghastly country with a climate like this? I wouldn't take it as a gift.
You mustn't come outside. It's too cold for you this time of the morning. You can watch us leave from the window.
Will you look up at the window?
Yes.
One look, for a moment.
And then you must go to Warsaw.
And wait. Yes.
Is Count Walewski there?
He is at his estate in the country.
Where shall I find you?
I have his permission to use the house in Warsaw.
But he will not see you.
We will not see each other, ever.
I shall catch the Russians in a few days and beat them. And then the war will be over, and then... Thank you, Constant. Get yourself ready. We leave in 15 minutes.
Yes, sir. May I say goodbye, madame?
We shall see each other again very soon.
I very much hope so, madame.
Constant told me last night that you are an angel.
Constant is a flatterer, like his master.
He also told me that I myself have been a good deal more angelic since I've known you.
You make me happy, and so I try to make you happy.
You are everything I need in a woman.
I am your woman, as long as you need me.
You do know that it is impossible for me to marry you, legally marry you.
I do know that it is impossible.
You do also know that at first I didn't love you. I simply wanted you with a sexual desire that was like agony, like torture, like death.
You do know that at first I did not love you.
Yes.
I do now.
I do now. I have trained myself not to regret the past, to wish things otherwise.
So have I.
Let me regret for a moment. Things should have been otherwise.
Be happy with what has happened.
Yes.
Don't think of me until after the battle. Then think of me for a moment. Send someone to tell me that you've won, and that you're alive and well. You see, I do ask for something. But that's all.
I must go.
May I give you something? Will you look at it after the battle?
Before and during and after.
After.
A ring.
You needn't wear it, but please keep it with you.
A strand of hair twined round it. Your hair.
Yes.
Your bright hair. An inscription?
You can't read it in this life.
What does it say?
Read it after the battle.
Oh, what does it say?
It says, when you shall cease to love me, do not forget that I love you.
My love.
Madame, the Prince of Benevento.
Prince.
Dear Madame.
Did the Emperor send you?
To Warsaw, though not to you.
How is he? Is he well? Do please tell me everything.
He is extraordinarily well.
Of course, I know that. I only wanted to hear it again. I know he's won his great victory, and the Tsar is asked to meet him for peace. So you have your peace at last.
Not my peace, Madame.
Well, we have peace. The Emperor has peace.
Yes. He has his.
So tell me, what have you come to tell me?
I have come to offer you my very humble apologies.
You have nothing to apologize for, Prince.
Madame, for the first time in my life, I am ashamed of my own skills of deception and persuasion.
Diplomacy is an honorable profession.
I no longer think so, Madame. My motives were not entirely dishonorable. I deceived you into believing that I favored a Russian alliance, which in fact I did not, and that you could influence the Emperor to reject this alliance, which in the event you could not. I did what I did partly in order to persuade you into the Emperor's bed. It is one of my functions to provide him with playthings. But more, in order to have your influence on my side supporting what I supported. The rejection of Russia and the creation of the Kingdom of Poland. I sacrificed you, Madame, for my purposes. The sacrifice was in vain.
What has happened?
The Emperor and the Tsar, those two great gods, have redrawn the map to indulge their Olympian fantasies. Russia is allowed to keep her part of Poland. There will be no kingdom, but a tiny duchy of Warsaw ruled not by a Pole, but by the ruler of Saxony.
Saxony?
So that Napoleon can take much of Saxony to help create yet another vassal principality for yet another of his foolish brothers. I now see, Madame, that he conceives of Europe as one vast estate, with himself as landlord and his family as bailiffs. I now see, Madame, that his ambition has no end. He must go on till he is landlord of the world. I do not think it my duty to serve this ambition. From now on, I am, in a word, against him, Madame. And I am distressed by the thought of the harm I have done to your life. The word apology is too weak, but I beg you to accept my apologies.
You are mistaken, Prince. You have done no harm to my life. There has been no sacrifice. I have a new loyalty. I am his wife. His Polish wife.